up, co-reporters? Welcome back to to my channel. A new season of Love is Blind has officially dropped, and I've got to be straight up with you guys, as I always am. At the very beginning, I kind of felt like this was a bit boring. It took me about 3.5 episodes to truly get into the season. Okay, so of course I'm gonna go episode by episode, then character by character, couple by couple for you guys. Okay, so shall we begin? Yes, guys, let's start. Just so you guys know, if you hear the pitter patters in the background, I've got 2 dogs in here. One I am watching for a friend, the other I'm watching for a neighbor. And the one I'm watching for a neighbor, she's a little wiener dog. Look, she's on the couch there. Her name is Fifi, and she's really scared. This is the first time she's been here, so I'm just letting her get her stressed out, run around. She kind of yaps a little bit, but she's doing fine, okay? Just FYI. Now, let's get into the recap, shall we? So I really thought, just based off the previews, that we were going to have Izzy and what's her name? Lydia. Sorry, one second. I really thought that Johnny and Izzy were supposed to be the Lauren and Cameron, the Brett and Tiffany of the season. They really set it up like that with the preview and everything. But I guess not, right? So in episode 1, we get this guy named Chris who seems like such a wholesome, lovely person. And he opens up to Johnny about being, trigger warning, SA'd by a girl at camp when he was only 17. Okay, then if you are a day one watcher of the show, then you probably remember that boring guy named Kenny who is in a relationship / engaged to Kelly. There's another guy similar to him named JP, except this guy has an obnoxious obsession with the American flag, which we will get to in later episode recaps. Okay, I was like, oh God, I'm not getting great vibes off this man, but I digress. So Izzy seems to be the guy that every girl is after this season. He makes connections with Johnny, he makes connections with Stacy, and then he's also got a connection apparently with Lydia. I didn't even know that he ever had a connection with Lydia, to be honest with you. I thought that his only connection was with the other 2 girls. So when we cut to Lydia crying because he is about to dump her, I'm like, Lydia, what gave you the impression that this man was in love with you? It just never really seemed like that was what was going on there. You know what I mean? But I digress. There always is a lot of stuff that is left on the cutting room floor and everything. And although I did feel bad for Lydia, oh, baby, ça va, tranquille. Although I did feel bad for Lydia, I was like, listen, Lydia, you do kind of feel like somebody who wants to be with just about anybody. The energy of, I just want to be picked so bad. It doesn't matter who. I just want to feel like I'm worthy. It's really unhealthy. And I think she should have worked on that before coming to this show. Okay. And I do have to give Izzy kudos for being so careful with her feelings. He just let her know it's nothing wrong with her or anything like that. It's just there's not this connection there that he has with other women, okay? And speaking of other women, there's another girl in the pods named Aaliyah who does a fantastic job of picking Lydia back up when she was bawling about the situation. She let her know that she is just this badass girl who deserves the world and a guy who is sure about her and everything. And I love a girl's girl, okay? So every time you see that in these pods, I am yes, rooting for that girl's girl immediately. You know what I mean? So Aaliyah actually does have a match of her own, and it's a guy who goes by the name of UCHE. And UCHE is well, first of all, Aaliyah is a nurse, and UCHE is a lawyer, okay? And at first glance, I'm like, okay, I really want these 2 to work, but UCHE already gave me a bad feeling about him. Although I do want him and Aaliyah to work out, they seem great on paper. I don't know. There's something that's blocking me from fully rooting for him as a person, okay? And things were going super well in their relationship and stuff until Aaliyah told this man that she had cheated in her relationship 2 years ago. I'm like, girl, now why would you go ahead and tell that man? Listen, if you've ever cheated in your past, don't tell people. People will judge you for that. I will judge you for that. I don't cheat, and I have a very bad view of cheaters and everything. So if someone ever told me they cheated in their past, it would already kill the relationship. So I think it would behoove you if this is the sort of thing that you do. and you want to like find somebody, you got to lie about it, in my opinion. Okay. But I think it's true. Okay. Like just leave the past in the past. Everything doesn't need to be told. Okay. So then at this point, Uche was really like not understanding about the situation or anything like that. He was like, what? You cheated in the past? That's awful. How dare you? Only 2 years ago, you're acting like it was a long time ago and that you've changed it. But 2 years is not a long time. So why should I trust you right now? Who would truly think he never cheated a day in his life? But come to find out, sanctimonious Uche, who really dug his claws into Aaliyah, had cheated in his past as well. Now, granted, he was only 18 years old, but 18 years old is still old. Guys, I should have never agreed to watch this dog. Oh, I thought she'd be like the other dog I watched. The other dog I watched, she's so calm and stuff, but oof, this one's working my last nerve. Listen, 18 years old is still old enough to know right from wrong. And he also says that it's different because he didn't sleep with somebody else. He only like kissed somebody else. But even the way he said it was just so like unnecessarily mean and like cruel towards Aaliyah, you know? So I was like, okay. At first I felt bad for judging him. I'm like, Grace, you shouldn't just judge him based on like, you know, past experiences or like past seasons of this show. At first I felt bad for like judging him or like painting him in a corner, but then I was like, wow, like he just gave like a certain vibe that I don't like. And he has this certain like expressionlessness that Paul has as well, that like I feel like makes it really hard also to connect with him. But yeah, so I really didn't like the way he acted, and I was really stunned to see that like he in his past had been a cheater as well when he acted that way. You would think that with him having cheating experience, he would be more understanding of people who have done it. But he acted like it was something he would never do in his life, has never done, would never even consider doing, you know? And not to mention, he's also hiding a major secret from Aaliyah, which we will get into in our episode 3 recap. But yeah, like I don't know, like even though I myself, I'm really anti-cheating as well, I don't think I would ever berate someone this way. I felt like it was way, 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 way too much. Okay. So I did feel bad for Aaliyah, and I was like, Aaliyah, please take this as a red flag. What you did is already a red flag on you, but the way that he's reacting and treating you is not cool, and it's a red flag on his behalf as well. You deserve someone who makes you feel safe to come with him with stories, you know, about things that are difficult, about your imperfections and everything like that. He should have, at the very least, like appreciated that you felt open enough to tell him this, because like I said, if I had ever cheated in the past, it's not something I would tell people. Okay. So he should appreciate that she's at least open enough and willing to risk losing him by telling him the truth at the end of the day. Okay. And so she leaves that room in tears. She's like, let me slide down this wall. You know, she's like sliding down the wall crying. Like, this is a man she's been dating her whole life who suddenly left her, divorced her, left her with the kids. Like, calm it down, girl. And so this time, the girl that she was picking up before, Lydia, is the one who picks her back up and lets her know, like, don't worry, you did the right thing to tell him. You want a man who makes you feel safe, to tell him the truth, this, that, and the other. Like, she really was there for her girl. And so I felt really like, oh, I really love this kind of like sisterhood, this bond between Lydia and Aaliyah. I really can see them becoming good friends outside of this pod. They are just such a great support system for one another. And it's wonderful to see that in here, rather than the whole like competition, cattiness stuff that can come out and has come out amongst other contestants, other seasons, and this season as well, you know? So kudos to the two of them. And we'll see how that plays out as this season progresses, okay? But in the meantime, you guys, that was a recap of episode 1 of season 5 of Love is Blind. Sorry for the distractions and whatnot. I didn't expect Fifi to be this anxious, but unfortunately she is. She is just doing the tour of the apartment, just freaking out. And I really feel for her. There's nothing I can do to comfort her. I'm trying to pick her up, hug her. She doesn't want that. Play toys. I've given her like treats, but she's too stressed to eat, you know, and it just is what it is. Anyway, make sure to let me know all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And as usual, we'll chat. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.